thank you for firstly accepting my invite.
No problem at all.
And how we started, really, like it's a case of where we first interacted. It was obviously virtually, not yet in person. And I come across your stories, and then I was just like, okay, this guy's speaking my language. Let me follow. Let me interact. And it's all been about knowledge acquisition, right? So knowledge that's actually going to be able to be used practically and to transform what you're doing. So this is exactly why we're speaking right now. And yeah, it's just great to get involved, man.
Yeah, man, will be a lot of fun. I agree,
Exactly.
totally.
Awesome. So shall we do some sort of intros for people who don't know, who know who we are, know what we do? Do you want to go first?
I can. My name is Tobias. You can call me Toby, everyone who has joined so far. Yeah, I live in Germany. I'm in this body 29 years old. And what else can I say about myself? Yeah. When did my journey start? Oh, man. Hard to say. I would say the deeper parts of the comprehension were around about 5 years ago. But overall, my life entirely was pretty interesting when it comes to all of those spiritual aspects. I grew up Christian, but with time realized that there's an abundance of misconceptions hidden in it, and so I would say in my early 20s realized that it has some truth in it, but so do other religions, and religions, they do not bring you to that point which you need to be in if you really are on that spiritual path. So yeah, that's so much to my part at first.
Yeah, for sure. And the organization aspect of religion, religion by its very word, legion, is to essentially be a part of something. There's a complete neglect of the overall, the totality of one, right? Of one, which is where we've all originated from. So absolutely. And a bit about me, just quickly. So yeah, in this vessel, 33 years old, and I am a transformation coach, holistic coach, and what that basically means is that I'm working with the whole body. So I've set up a business with my wife, and we are working together remotely at the moment. And the ultimate aim is to have our own retreat center, health center. And I know this is something, again, that you have in mind as well. So
exactly,
wavelengths. And it's all about meeting like-minded people on the same wavelength as you, because ultimately, the more connection that you have, the more that things can actually come to fruition. So seek your tribe. That's the end result, in a way. And we do that by virtue of magnetism. So
yeah, law of attraction. You get what you are, basically. Yeah,
exactly that. So this can kind of lead us into our first topic, which is about inner peace and holistic health. So what does inner peace mean to you?
To me, simply put, it's being present in the moment and to observe, to not feed emotions too much. Surely they have their use, and that's one of the topics we are going to address later on.
Yeah.
But yeah, just being, observing, and having a deeper level of perception when it comes to everything that appears to us. So good or bad circumstances, they all hold a potential for good or bad things. We just have to decide ourselves. So inner peace is just being. As one of my favorite mentalities is only now counts and everything else is an illusion. So yeah, it's all about the mentality.
Exactly.
Yeah, in the present moment.
So with inner peace, it's something that can be attained at any point. As we were discussing before, if we start to normalize just breathing, being present right now, just closing your eyes, and then just taking that big inhale. Breathe through the diaphragm, hold it, and then just release. And also, there's a nice little breathing technique where you imagine on the exhale that there's a birthday cake in front of you and you blow the candles out. I quite like that one. But inner peace is, it's the ability to come back to presence, come back to the state of being. It's human being, not human doing. Too many people are doing autopilot. We need to remember what this is without attaching ourselves to doing all the time. You know, so that's it. It's not just the absence of stress. It's where your energy layers, all the layers of you are in harmony and you're balanced, centered. And you can't be centered if you're not breathing correctly and you're doing. There's no chance that you're going to be able to get that peace. So,
you know, I didn't want to interrupt you. Continue.
Okay.
But I will come up with my point later on.
Yeah. And there are ways, obviously, there's practices. So everything is a practice. You know, life is a practice. We could have done this many times before, but we're still practicing.
Divine timing. Yeah.
Divine timing. So what are some of the ways in which you find yourself like off center or like imbalance? How do you come back to balance and stillness?
Okay, so let's put it like this: challenges or whatever circumstance which brings you out of peace, they will always occur more or less. So how I return to it, and this is a skill, this is a program which you can set into your mind. Obviously, as you also mentioned, it's breathing. If you take a deep breath, you have more oxygen inside, and it comes to your brain, goes through your body, and resets your mind basically to this non-duality, which is peace, because peace is not a vibration; it's just a straight line to a single point. But how to return to it? Returning to it, it's so you have this trinity, and in this trinity there's a duality. The trinity is thought, emotion, and action. Action is the play out of those previous two things. So basically, how to return to peace easily is to realize that you do not have to feed whatever is in front of you or what is happening, and things don't happen to you but for you ultimately. And to change in perception, to realize that, for instance, let's say you are sitting in a car and in front of you there's someone who also whatever is speeding and trying to go over the green lights. So suddenly the lights turn red and you are not passing over to the other side of the street. You could get mad and be like, oh man, I failed here. Or you could tell yourself, hey, usually I would have gotten mad here, and the other person in front of me made it, I didn't. But I do not have to feed that emotion, and why does it even arise? So behind that there's a thought. Maybe it could be feeling failure in that moment. It doesn't have to be about cars or being on red lights or whatever. It is about just the emotion that is feeding a program. So if you Okay, let's begin it like this. Where do programs even come from? Mental programs.
Mm.
A mental program is a mindset which usually has formed in your childhood. And this this mentality or program over time is being fed more and more with different circumstances, which are
Yeah.
similar to something that you have had in your childhood. For instance, your parents were whatever judging you for doing something wrong, and now you're judging your own self all the time, or getting emotional in certain conditions. Let's go
Yeah.
back to this car example now. You're sitting in the car, you're getting mad because someone has cut off the road, or you're not able to pass over to the other side of the street because of red lights. And most people now just feed into that thought. They get more and more emotional.
Yeah.
They do not realize, and this is also what's being called getting conscious of the subconscious, is you see with time that this program is just a pattern which you do not have to feed necessarily. You can set a new program, a new mindset, and it's a choice. And this
Yeah.
is where I usually use it for my own self. You have the choice to not feed a past program, but something new. You can tell yourself, okay, from now on, I'm not going to react like this and that. Or
Yeah.
you can even tell your own self that a challenge or a painful circumstance has an opportunity for you
Mm.
to return to deeper peace. It doesn't have to be bad. Like in the beginning of the year, my personal experience, I was diagnosed with a certain disease which was not very fun, and my body was burning from the inside like crazy. And I just realized, okay, I can now feed a victim mentality. I
Yeah.
can now stay in this mindset of being, yeah, done and having to deal with this for the rest of my life, or I can tell myself, no, this is a victim mindset, this is a program, and I can feed something new. I can tell myself, hey, I have this vision where I'm healthy, where I'm doing great, where I'm achieving all kinds of goals of mine, and I do not have to feed this program, which whatever kind of doctor or whoever told me that I'm
Exactly.
going to have to deal with this for the rest of my life. I can sit down, I can visualize a perfect circumstance, that's the thought. Then I can feel good about that circumstance of achieving that. And then I just have to act upon it. And what happens, and this is where people think, oh, well, I will have to search for whatever what will help me. But personally, you will realize in your own life, whoever is watching now, that you attract everything into your being. If you want solutions and if you want answers, you just have to attract those things from a state of being in that wish fulfilled.
Mm.
And this is what gives me peace. I just sit down, I have a challenge, whatever it is, and I tell myself, hey, I'm not going to feed it with anger or with whatever emotion I feel that restricts me. I'm just going to remain at that state and see myself in a state where I've already surpassed that or
Mm.
even further. So this
Exactly.
is what gives me peace. It's just perception. I can see this. Let's return to the example of this disease. I have been told that it's incurable. And I told myself there's no such thing as incurable.
Yeah.
All effects have a cause and effect. So I just have to find the cause and resolve it.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
it was so funny because when I realized, okay, based on that thinking, I can resolve that problem, and that in itself will give a whole lot of people the opportunity to also heal themselves.
Yeah. Yes.
So it's
So
just insane.
so
Yeah.
with that, the programming that surrounds you coming to the conclusion
Mhm.
or the diagnosis of the doctor
Mhm.
must automatically mean that it's incurable.
Yeah.
It's their word is received as being gospel, and then
Yeah.
in
Outsourcing.
turn,
Exactly.
exactly. So in turn, we then subscribe to the diagnosis,
Mhm.
and we die, ignores
Yeah.
ourselves, which then our cells respond to the thoughts, and therefore everything, the autonomic nervous system, everything responds to that diagnosis, and then we become the victim of someone else's label, really, just because they adorn a white coat, you know. This is it. This is where the titles of certain people, establishments, and the programming that we believe, oh, they're a doctor, so therefore it must mean. Don't get me wrong, they have their, you know, their education, but the education curriculum with which that derives from, you know, we can't say it's 100%.
Yeah, it's
so,
limitation,
again,
and we can say it as it is. It is limitation. It is knowledge to a certain degree, but not that degree which saves you ultimately. Look at me. I'm feeling great right now. The symptoms have almost vanished entirely. I do not have any struggle with that anymore. And man, from that stuff, it is MS, or has been MS, the symptom, whatever they called it. My left eye was nearly blind, and now I'm seeing again just fine. It's not perfect, but it's almost returning to normal. And the thing is, as you said, the white coat and all of this outsourcing, you get information from people. And as we also have spoken before this call about it, information, the word itself, it is bringing a self in the formation of that given word or that which is being spoken or told. So if a doctor tells you, oh, you cannot hear, you have this and that, and it's incurable, then you can decide, am I being brought into the formation of that word or the sentences which are being told, or am I telling, okay, the doctor has this level and this level of perception or of awareness, and I'm not trying to bash anyone or to discredit any knowledge, because I believe that a lot of people truly want to do well and want to help other people, but they are being limited in awareness. And I thought about this for a long time, because when I was in hospital, I felt like, oh man, okay, those people do not really know what they are doing. And I was kind of, you could say, disappointed or mad at them. But then weeks went by and I was very peaceful. That was a great gift. That pain was such a huge gift. So this is also what I can tell to all people. Pain is a massive gift once you realize it. It boosts your awareness and in everything. You will get so much more peace. When you experience huge pain, man, you just change. You are an entirely different person, man. Entirely. And it's so important to not get drawn into this victim mentality and, oh, my life is bad and those circumstances, they are limiting me so much. No. This is really... so much potential is being lost in that. It's important to really see pain as that which it really is, because look, there's a phrase. I'm not believing in an external God anymore. As I said, I was not born, but I grew up Christian, and but this phrase is so true, because it says, I asked for truths or strength, and God gave me difficulties to overcome. So in those difficulties is the truth which you need in order to be that person who knows a way out. If you, for instance, tell yourself, and that's something I told myself, I want to have as many answers, or even all answers to all things that I want to know. And oh man, I mean, you really have to know what you wish for, because you then will get slapped by life. And he basically shows you want the truth, you want all of this, here you get it. You get pain to solve as riddles, and then you know more. You just know how to get out of a disease, out of a circumstance, whatever, overcoming a relationship breakup or whatever. You just learn more about yourself. And this is, a lot of people believe, and I know a lot of people who follow us are deeply trapped in those conspiracy theories. I was like that myself during Corona. Deeply, like I need to gather information, what's happening next, and oh, I know this stuff. But you get lost in it. You get so deeply lost in it, and it's pulling you down into bad vibes, bullshit stuff, and you just have to free your own mind from all of this. It's a trap. It's not for your benefit. And there are people who will say, okay, yeah, the news, what's being told, that's right, and it's all true. I'm not being lied to. And then there are people who say, no, this is all a lie, and you have to get mad at those politicians, and it's so unjust, and war is happening, and all of that stuff. But they do not realize that they didn't really evolve. They are still in the same mindset, just that they believe to have more truth. But that's not true. You're still trapped into those negative visions, and getting emotional. You're mad. They are still programming you. I mean, the words in itself. Television is a vision, a television program. It is that which is being programmed into your mind, and through what? Through a channel. The program, the information, those words in itself. People have to realize what is really happening there.
Exactly. Pass me the remote control. Let me control you remotely. It's true. It is another box. It's another demoralizing thought process the more you get sucked into these things. But let me ask you, to what extent is our ability to see this and to actually get out of it affected by what we're putting inside us? So I want to get into life force and nutrition. When it came to your symptoms, what you were diagnosed as with, you must have obviously looked up ways to increase your vitality, to help your life force to become more at one with self, to supplement your body, to nourish. What was your go-to? Like what did you do with that?
Let's begin with the less pretty part of it all. Let's begin with the mistakes which I have made. I have, before that, tended to eating very inflammatory stuff. Yeah. So omega-6s, all of that stuff, and that which kind of is the comfort zone and everything that gives you a quick spike in dopamine. I already have been drinking several weird blends of mushrooms and whatever. I'm not talking about psychedelics or whatever. I'm talking about adaptogenic stuff. Yeah. So I used that a lot before, but that hasn't helped me. Obviously, I have done a whole lot of crap. And additionally, I was a gym freak. I was a real gym freak. I love it. I loved going to gym, and I was thinking of certain things for a very long time, which I have ended up doing, which is steroids. So that was a very bad idea. It inflamed my entire system, and I got into hospital and was basically told by my own body, you cannot escape from this. You are in this body all the time. Well, okay, astral projection is another thing, and dying obviously as well, but I love life, I love experiencing, and I told myself I have to change. So 180 degrees. Now to the better part, or that which has helped me. Fruit, a lot of fruit juices, because there's a lot of life force in it. That celery juice, man, that's my go-to. Celery juice, it's like it's cleaning your body entirely from so much rubbish. It's crazy, and like all the mucus, everything is being kicked out. I can just advise everyone to drink it every day. You can begin with 16 ounces up to 32.
Yeah.
So which in European measurement would be 1 liter or something. Yeah, around about that.
Okay. Because celery's, from what I know of celery, its main properties for the bones actually.
Also, and testosterone rising is that's pretty interesting. So, I can tell you something.
Yeah. Go on.
Very interesting, because me having that experience with PEDs and whatever, you usually are being prescribed or whatever, have to take something which is called a PCT, so post psychotherapy, so that your whatever parts of the body start working again. You do not need that at all. With celery, it just reawakens your body. Let's say it like this.
Interesting.
Natural testosterone production is getting higher again. And what's very interesting is it heals the nervous system because of mineral salts and a very specific type of vitamin C in it. I've got this entire information when it comes to celery juice from a guy which has a very big account on Instagram. He is called Medical Medium. Man, that guy has saved me. I am telling you, when it comes to this disease, he has saved me. I do not really agree when it comes to the entire concept of viruses, but that's another thing. It's more the heavy metals. It's more the heavy metals, and now we get to the part which restricts life force. Heavy metals, everyone has them inside of the body, unfortunately. Well, depending on where you live, if you live in a first world country, as somewhere in Europe or the United States, you are probably heavily blasted with them. Also, a lot of heavy metals are being inherited from parents. So physically, I'm saying, like quicksilver, you can get it from your mother while you're in the womb or through the milk.
Right.
And aluminium, obviously, it's in the air, it's everywhere, and a lot of people still cook with aluminium foil, which is not good at all. You should cut that out.
That's
a
big one.
Yeah. That's huge because you also have cans, all kind of little things where you store food in aluminium. Nah, get this out because it gets into your brain, it gets into your nervous system, it limits you, it does so many bad things, and all those autoimmune diseases come from heavy metals.
Right.
They will tell you, oh, it's your own body which attacks its own self. That's not true. That's not true. It all has a cause, and this causes heavy metals, and down the line, those heavy metals feed different things like parasites. And you want to get the heavy metals out and then the parasites afterwards. Because if you kill a parasite, what happens? It dies, heavy metals leak out, and neurotoxins, and then you have all kinds of problems. So heavy metals out first. And first of all, that's the fun thing. Once you begin eating healthy, once you begin eating the right things, it all happens naturally. You do not even have to focus on, I have this and that. This and this is in my body. It just moves out on its own.
Yeah.
If you just take the right things. Sure, in the beginning, something like spirulina or whatever, cilantro doesn't taste well, but it does what it's supposed to. Or leafy greens, they just help you. And they also hold so much life force. Life force obviously does not only come, is being transmitted through those plants, but it ultimately comes from the sun, which is light. So we are light beings, and we ingest light through things that grow in light. And this is fruits, and vegetables and everything from plants. That's the thing. It helps. And I'm not bashing anyone who is eating meat, and that choices are free. You can do whatever you want. Just be aware of what's happening. Do not cook everything until it's dead and there's now no life force left in it. Sure, if something tastes well to you and you like it, eat it, but try to do it in moderation and balance it with good stuff that actually helps you.
It's ultimately the life force energy from food is what animates this body. It's what animates us. And when you start to understand it as energy units, or as information for your cells to use and to heal certain organs, to organize.
Exactly.
And
organizers,
to ultimately make you more optimal, make you more functional, like you alluded to with spirulina, chlorella. Obviously, those are the life force within them is capable of chelating. So obviously the chelation method is to get rid of the heavy metals. And once that's done, you start to feel lighter. So
that's enlightenment. It's not just about light, but also being lighter within. Exactly. Because heavy metals, they are heavy. And that's the thing. They are bringing your consciousness also down, because this is something very interesting. Aluminium has the ability to be a damping mechanism. It absorbs emotion. And that's pretty crazy, because if you think about it, in Germany, anger is being called Wut, but also sauer. And sauer also means sore. So, okay, well, in English you also have the word sore and sore. So being bitter or something. Okay, bitter is also another thing, because being bitter physically would be good, because you're then alkaline, more or less.
Yeah.
But being sore is not good, because in sore environment, obviously, all kinds of things evolve, like cancer, easily. Yeah.
With the word bitter as well, like it's something that you don't want to be. You don't want to be bitter, because the thought process around being bitter will again manifest itself within your body, and not in a good way, in a detrimental way. And this thing again ties into what you're consuming, what you're ingesting. It's going to affect your thoughts. The gut-brain axis is one of the key reasons for this, and obviously a lot of parasites exist within the gut, and that's their food source, isn't it? Alongside.
Yeah. Of course.
So they're
Soil
feeding
environment and heavy metals. Yeah. And when they come into your brain, which is it does all kinds of stuff. So not to make it a topic of, I have to be scared of all of this. No, it's a thing about seeing it neutrally, being aware of it, and simply acting the right way, or the way which makes you achieve the goal of being healthy and live longer. Or well, okay, this is another topic, because I do not believe that death. I think the phrase memento mori is a lie. I think you should not remember that you are going to die at some point, even physically, because I think something like physical death, it can be avoided. And I'm not talking about some kind of artificial way, or something that you need to install into your body. We could talk about an entire book of conspiracy theories now, but no, you can achieve a very long lasting life just by doing the right things. And this is eating the right food, getting enough oxygen and peace. And this is also a topic with the telomeres, which shrink and make you age, but they do not have to shrink. And the more you meditate, they also regain in size or length. So death is a fiction, also physically. I mean, okay, when the body dies, or the connection is being cut from the soul, your consciousness never ends. You will never really die. There's no state such as death, truly.
Exactly. And that's, again, it's about adding these things to your protocol, your awareness. I call it like an awareness toolkit. So if we start to implement the detoxification as a sort of, as a go-to, as part of our toolkit of awareness. So what are we going to do to make ourselves feel lighter? We're going to go to the sauna. We're gonna fast. We're going to do all of these things to essentially alleviate that heaviness and this. A lot of people have brain fog. A lot of people have cloudy mind, and then no one's really thinking about what's going on internally and how it's affecting not only our feeling but our actions and our thought processes. There's loads of things that aren't beneficial for us, and we don't know why we're acting in certain ways. But when you have this awareness, you can start to think, okay, this is what's going on. There's something inside that's actually responsible for this. So that's all it is. And it's just the awareness aspect. We've got some comments as well. Let's have a little gaze in here.
Interesting ones as well. Some judgmental. Yeah. Okay. Interesting. That's cool.
Thoughts on sun gazing. So
sun gazing. yeah, that's great. That's a very good thing to do. Yeah.
Absolutely, especially when it's near sunset. You can actually pretty much directly look at the sun, and when you are just consciously breathing at the same time as looking at it, the effects you feel. You can see not only the electromagnetic spectrum, but your whole body is pulsing at the same time. You can feel your pineal gland completely activating. It's dead right here. You can just feel it beautifully. Definitely recommend that one.
I mean, in the end, also, you know, in the noon, you have the state called zenith, and I thought about it for some time, and it's kind of hiding the words eating zen, so eating intelligence basically. And whenever I meditate in the sun, afterwards, there's such a huge blast in information and awareness. There are so many things that come to your mind and you just have to process. You just feel it, this connection. And we are also very photovoltaic beings.
Yeah.
Truly, it's insane what the sun does. I mean, in the summer sun, if you're spending round about 10 minutes in the summer sun, then you gain a 10,000 IU of vitamin D. And that's so much. And people also believe that, oh yeah, too much vitamin D and it's toxic. No, that's not true. Obviously, okay, if you take like hundreds of thousands international units of vitamin D, it will be toxic. But I myself take round about 20,000 international units every day, and man, I'm feeling great. I'm feeling very good.
Yeah. It's where I'm living now in Portugal. It's the sun is more prevalent, and I notice when I don't receive it that I'm almost really desperate to be in it. I used to use the vitamin D supplements. There's not much you can do in the way of getting it from food other than from fish, mushrooms in very small amounts, but you really need the sun, and there's such an absence of it. The weather modification, if you like, that's going on is also a big problem, and obviously there's a lot of misconceptions around the sun being, like you said, toxic. Question is that information coming from you, or is it a direct experience? You have to question the fact that the sun gives life, and we are part of the same ecosystem. We need that life force generated from the sun in order to be optimal. And when we don't have it, then the mood, everything really diminishes, and this is a problem. So it's about being able to make the most of the sun whenever it's out. Make sure you get out in it. It's there for you to utilize. Yeah.
Also one thing. Sure. Okay, we'll get to that next question after that, but I wanted to say one thing, that while it is a problem, obviously, that certain things happen in the sky and you do not get as much sunlight as you should, or the quality of it, the full spectrum of the light, it's also an opportunity for you to decide, okay, those and those circumstances exist here where I live, and now I can work on myself even more to do more for myself, and then go to a place or move to a place where there is more sun, where those conditions are not as bad, or even more perfect looking, you could even say. Perhaps there's some kind of spot here in this known realm where there's not much modification. Obviously, rain falls, and in the rain you have aluminium and all of this stuff, but you can still go to some places which are less toxic. And it doesn't have to be bad, and you don't have to stay where you currently are. That's the thing.
Exactly. It's like you said, it's having a priority. It's making it a priority.
Mhm.
And we don't need everything that we need to be optimal is free. Really, it is.
Yeah.
The food source obviously is a separate thing, but we just need natural. We are of nature, so it makes sense for us to derive optimal health from it.
Exactly. Nothing patented. It just exists there. Yeah.
Exactly. So let's get into one of the questions. So thoughts on CBD. What's your thoughts on it, Tobias? What would you say?
I mean, okay. Again, moderation. You can use everything which helps you in the moment, but if you feel that you are addicted to something, that you need something more and more, and CBD is not addictive as far as I'm concerned.
No.
It calms you down, obviously, but and if it works for you, use it, but try to learn to see it as a tool, as something that you can use for that moment, but ultimately to lead you out of that state entirely on your own. For instance, if you try to have some kind of special experience out of the body, you should not take mushrooms all the time and then have whatever kind of neurological problems. You can try it. You can compare it to things that you have experienced on your own through meditation, but try to learn those things, or well, gain the skill, regain the skill, because it's not a gain, you regain it, it's always within you, so you do not have to gain something new. It's just within you. You just have to reawaken and remember that it is inside. So if you want to have inner peace, just meditate a lot and try to here and there maybe implement some kind of plant or CBD or ashwagandha, but down the line you will learn that you do not need all of this.
Yeah, precisely that, and that's what. Yeah, that comment there. We should use these things as tools, not ways to distract or avoid things we don't want to face.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's a huge thing.
And
avoidance is so huge. Yeah.
Because there's I feel like the more offerings that are put on a plate for you to to potentially to take, these things are all coming externally to be used internally. So it's like you said, everything is able to be created from within, but we use them as tools to get us to that point maybe a little bit quicker, right?
Yeah.
And that's ultimately how they should be seen, as supplements to supplement something that is already capable within you and your choices. So yeah, that's a really good point. CBD for me is obviously it's a non-psychoactive, so it has a very calming effect, and it can be it's just, again, like you said, not to depend on it, because I've seen personally, I've experienced that dependence, psychological dependence on something, and I'm sure a lot of people have addictions in some way, some more toxic than others. So it's just about recognizing that you're in that cycle. There's something outside of you which is having control over you, and it's just being conscious of the fact that that is happening, and you're allowing that to happen.
Yeah, so it's agreement. Again, it's so simple, because it's down the line, all truths, all the deepest truths, and this is something I've said so many times to basically everyone who is speaking to me in private. You realize that the deepest truths will make you feel kind of stupid, just because it's so simple. Yeah, obviously the path to all of this is very complex, through all those triggers, all those things, and all of that, which brings you out of peace. But at some point, you just get to this simplicity. It is all about choice and agreement. You can choose to think this and that. You can choose to feel like this and that about that thought, and you can act this and that way. You can act based on your program which you have in your subconscious mind, which tells you, oh, I have to take CBD to feel well. Or you can say, how about I find a program or something I can do for my own self to achieve mental freedom or peace on my own, to not depend on it. Because I think Katja said it here, the avoidance, it's very important to know in spirituality or in this entire movement, you have a lot of people who will tell you, oh, love and light only. But this is a trap. This is avoidance. And the only way is through. You have to go through that pain, and in that pain or those circumstances, for instance, if you use CBD or whatever substance, or maybe even alcohol, because you have some kind of major thing happening in your life, and it brings you out of peace all the time, and you just have to flee. Maybe let's just say you have the basic life of a person who works a 9 to 5 job, and then at the weekend feels, yeah, I'm free. I'm free. I can drink now. I can forget about all of this stuff, and that I'm not living the life that I want to live, and that I would just consume this and forget. Yeah. Well, then you're outsourcing to that whatever substance it is to regain a certain level of peace, but that's not real peace because you haven't achieved it on your own. And to achieve peace on your own, you have to go through pain and realize, okay, this is a lesson for me to see what is bringing me out of peace, so that I can decide that it has no more influence, or not to that degree at least. And people will then say, oh, well, but it's so painful, it's so bad. How can you just think positively now? No, it's not just thinking positively. It's thinking from a point of, what can this do for my own self, and what can I use this for later on to help other people?
Yeah, exactly. It ties back into what we're going to go into with the comfort zones, and how stepping outside of that comfort zone is essentially it's a rewiring of your brain to be more resilient, to adapt to something that was a recurring pattern. And for you to make that step outside of that recurring pattern is a big thing. You should celebrate the fact that you took that step outside of the thing that was giving you comfort. Celebrate that, and then develop the momentum to carry on. And then you recognize the neural pathways start to rewire themselves, and then we start to feel better, right? We start to enjoy life more because we've done something that ultimately is for our betterment. And whatever is animating the body, whatever's animating us is saying thank you. You've had the awareness, and now you've acted on it. So, like you said, it's the thought, it's the emotion, and then the action. But you need the thought, you need the awareness to have the thought. And then we've got here, comfort is the reason so many people avoid the change. Exactly.
There's nothing more to add to that. Yeah, it's just that. But it's not real comfort, because that's also what people do not realize. The path is either up or down, because that which is giving you comfort currently, and you believe, oh yeah, life is okay the way it is, at some point there will be something in your life which will force you to change. You can tell yourself, oh, well, I have this and this kind of problem. I have this and this kind of condition, but I'm gonna keep eating this and that. It's okay. Yeah, here and there I have like small pains and small aches, but it's okay. And then it piles up. This fake, well, in the moment, comfort then piles up to a huge mountain of discomfort, which then breaks down onto your head, and then you have to deal with it. You have no other choice. You have to go through it. And this is also why I say, just a year ago, I had a massive problem with people not accepting truth. I was like, oh my God, how do they not see that? How do they not become aware of this? How? It's so simple. yeah, to me it maybe was simple, but I had to accept that there's free will, and that some people will come to me and not receive the message or not integrate it.
Yeah.
It's just the way it is, and some people have to go through that pain. They have
Exactly.
to see it the way it is. Yeah, presented by reality that they are doing something not good for themselves.
Yeah.
And then you
Exactly.
can choose. You can become, again, victim of the circumstance, or you can say, hey, man, I have to change this. I want to live. I want to have a beautiful experience here on earth. I do not want it to end soon. I do not want to have a miserable state of mind. And then you're forced. You're forced into change, because no one, I mean, okay, maybe some people, you have everything here in reality. Maybe some people enjoy it. But let's say from a point of perspective of a normal person who loves life and who also in pain realizes, okay, exactly because of that comfort, I want to have more comfort. And then the people realize I need to go through pain to have more comfort in the end, and that it's giving you more peace.
Yeah, exactly. Another really easy way is to microdose discomfort. So, so one of the most like crucial discomforts for me was undergoing cold showers. Something as simple as that, and I can't explain how beneficial that's been for me in terms of my nervous system, my ability to deal with stress, and my composure, my lack of reactivity, all of these little things. So I would always say to people, just microdose discomfort. We all want comfort, but there's a balance, as with everything. And if we're not getting results that we want, then why not step outside that comfort and see what it gives you? See the difference. Experience something that's just manageable, is in your control. You're not going to. No one's torturing you. You might torture yourself with the shower, but you can always switch that to warm. You can always turn it off. So just have an experience with discomfort, and then see where it takes you.
The same thing is, okay, this is extreme, but people who practice karate, or however you spell it in English,
What's that?
this martial art,
What's it called?
karate, karate. How do you
Reiki.
call it? Huh?
What was it?
Karate or something?
Oh, karate.
Karate. Okay, thank you for correcting me. Karate. Those people, they intentionally break the bones to rebuild them even stronger. It's just that way. Whatever you have this saying, what doesn't kill me makes me stronger. It's exactly that way. No pain, no gain. Yeah, going to the gym, as one guy here also talked about us looking weak, whatever. But this is the thing. Going to the gym is precisely that. The muscle structure breaks down to then being rebuilt into something more big, more resilient. And the thing is, down the line, you realize the more weight you move, the pain is the same, but you just move a different number. So this is also in life. You adapt to more pain more easily with time. Certain things happen to you, certain circumstances, which other people would call, oh my God, I would break down in this and I would go desperate.
Yeah.
And other people are like, okay, whatever. Yeah.
Exactly.
Let's look at traders. In the beginning, you might trade with whatever, $2,000. And later on, a big day trader might trade with whatever, 2% of the account, which would be 200,000, and they lose it. To them, losing that amount is the same as another person who, just invested 2,000 or whatever, 200. It's the same pain, but on another level. You just adapt to more pain. Yeah.
Exactly. A comment here as well: comfort doesn't expand; it keeps us idle and complacent. Yeah, I agree. In the sense of too much. Again, anything in excess You know, it's quite simple as that. Really, is trying to minimize the excessiveness of doing something. And then we've got pain as a sign that something has to be addressed. The more we run from it, more of the same we will get. Exactly. The signs will make themselves known. The intelligence that runs through this body will show you a sign. And as the observer, as the awareness of with which we are in cohabiting with, we have to be the one to acknowledge that and take action.
Yeah.
But if we don't have the curriculum, if we don't have the criteria, then how do we come to that conclusion? And this is what most people are experiencing. We only seek help when it's
external,
almost too late.
Also.
When it's too late, you know. And we need to nip it in the bud, as we say in England. We have to nip it in the bud, and that basically means you have to address it before it becomes too severe. And you know, this is the case with a lot of things. So
this is also why I said that pain, in a sense, is a gift, because sometimes it is huge, but it also warns you, hey, go on like this, and there's no return for you in this physical level of being. So sometimes it is too late, but most of the time you can stop it. I mean,
this is it. It's also tapping into that, having that spiritual logic, and that comes from acknowledging yourself as this body, as a self-regulating existence. It's self-regulating, right? It looks after itself. The earth cleans itself. We are representative of the earth as well. And then we can go into how the heart, earth, and ether, when they're all spelled out, you can make the same word out of all of those three words right there. And this is another massive thing that is, if people knew about more, then they would start to create the conditions within themselves that they desire more. And the ether is the unseen fifth. It's the fifth element. We're not taught this in school.
That's the thing.
I don't want to go into that.
Ether is the most important of them all. It's the beginning of duality. Ether is just where some say fire and water, some say male and female, but ether is that energy, this electromagnetic thing, which just flows through emotion, through energy, which is brought into motion. It's the up and the down, or whatever spiral it is. It's it is that blueprint thing which just creates this hologram which we can experience now, and our organizers, or organizers of which give us the sense of perception, sensory organs. You just, all you touch, or you see, or you smell, or you taste, whatever, it's just ether brought into that motion. It's just that.
Exactly. And I think one of the most crucial things that all of us should have learned from a young age is how we can connect and tap into that. We can tap into that. All of the words that are coming through us right now, we're getting these insights. We're getting what you call downloads, because it's literally coming down and through us, and then we're amazingly being able to project that. And
vibrations through speech or whatever. Yeah, exactly.
This is it. This should be standard knowledge. This should be standard knowledge, because then you understand what you are. You understand your capacity for greatness and your power. We are all powerful. We just have to
infinitely powerful.
Unlearn.
That's the thing. Yeah.
Do you know? And again, another crucial thing is to understand the heart, the brain, the connection that's generated through what's measurable as an electromagnetic field, and the influence of the heart, which was proven by Heart Math Institute. Very easy to find that research online. and the measurability of that, of the heart, which we now know is a vortex.
Yeah, exactly. It's not a pump, it's a vortex. That's the thing. It just spirals the blood. It
All
doesn't
around.
pump it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The circulation is this. The circulatory system is as a result of that vortex, which in its function does kind of pump, but it's not so strictly pumping. It's the lungs, exactly. James is saying that it's the lungs of the pump, exactly.
And what's also very interesting when it comes to the lungs, a lot of people think that all the DMT is being secreted or whatever by the pineal gland and sections in the brain. That's not entirely true, because a lot of it is being actually produced in the lungs. It's the breathing, which makes then, lungs are connected to the roots of blood, all of that, and that then goes to the brain and activates the other things. Lungs are so important.
Exactly. And
I'm not gonna even begin this topic. It's so huge, man.
And the comment before that, it says, as I become more awareness, I realize that maybe we're not from this world, but that's another topic. So yeah, it's not, I can't hold a 3D representation of a fort in my hand. I can't, but I can use my mind to go to wherever. I can go inside an atom if I want with my mind. So therefore, we are not of this world. The fort is it's extraterrestrial. The body is terrestrial. It's literally that. And again, when you recognize that, when you're aware of that, you start to realize your power. You're like, whoa, okay, I'm actually able to manipulate matter, create with my thoughts, and this is just incredible. And this should be standard teaching. Hopefully, one day it will be.
I think quite soon, even. I mean, a lot of people, say there's going to be this Phoenix event or Great Reset or apocalypse, but it's a new beginning. It's the end of the old and a beginning of the new, which is a golden age. And come on, people, you all feel it. You realize that something is changing. It is just not going to stay dark and everything. It's just, this state right now is the state of purgatory. It's purging the torus field. It's cleaning it. That's what is happening right now. And we are not of this world. The world is from us, and now we are coming to this topic of Holy Trinity. You have in the Christian religion, God, then the Holy Spirit, and then Jesus as the body. It's not about one individual. It's not about Jesus himself. It's all of us. We are that God which through the Holy Spirit, which is the ether flow, came into this physical being, which is the flesh. We are that. We are exactly that. And Christianity in its origin was esoteric, but it has been twisted into something, pray to this external thing. No, we are that, exactly that thing. We are that.
Yeah, this is it. And that's why faith is in a way more powerful than what is true. Because anyone who knows anything about social engineering knows that there's a deliberate attack on faith, and that in turn will diminish your power, right? So we have to go back to knowing, to the inner knowing of who we are, what we're capable of, and how we can essentially transmute all of these attacks that happen into us. Invisible, most of them are invisible. And we can have the power to, like this comment here says, can we command and compel our bodies to heal and regenerate?
Absolutely.
We can. And this is it. It's the hardest part is to actually believe that you can, and to actually compute that you have it within you to do it. It's the hardest part is to banish the thought that you can't.
This program. People have been programmed into this thinking that they are this small thing and that they have to outsource to some kind of god, some scientist, politician, that they will do it for you. No, you are that God. You are that infinite mind, this consciousness which came here and is experiencing itself through all these bodies. You are infinite power.
Yeah.
There's nothing over you. There's no more authority. No, everything is precisely the same thing. Yeah, there are degrees of consciousness, of awareness, that you know that you are this and that. And this is also why it's very important to accept it. You certainly have all kinds of people who will disagree with you and tell you that you're crazy and that you have taken drugs and whatever. That's okay. Don't get mad at them. Accept them.
Yeah.
Tell them, yeah, all right, I understand your way of thinking and your perception. I know what you mean, and I wish you the best. That's all we can do. And then, yeah, just live by example and
Yeah.
not even hope that they will come to us and whatever, apologize. No, it's not about this. For instance, this account I have here is not about, oh yeah, I need to gain following. I would be the same way if I had 600 followers or whatever number. I do not care about numbers. I care about individuals and myself having the ability to really convey a message in a way that people can relate, can take it and help themselves. Because, and this is also, a lot of people believe that they are Jesus and have to save everyone. No, we just have the ability to help people help themselves. Everyone is their own savior.
Yeah, I've definitely gone through that savior complex, they call it, and you have to humble yourself in a way, because when you have that humility, it's because you're aware of your own power. You know, that's that should really be, when you're aware of your own power, it's like, well, I don't need to prove this.
Exactly.
You just know it, and you do no harm. As simple as that. You know, it's we're all of the same source, and therefore we have to be of service to others.
We are that source embodied. It's just that we are God here, living this and having those experiences, and we have the choice to experience those things. And we have, and this is, a lot of people think, yeah, pain comes your way because you are a bad person or whatever. Okay, sometimes it's kind of a payback or whatever, but sometimes you have to go through those pains because you asked for more knowledge, you asked for more truth, and then you get to that truth through that pain. And it's not just bad. It is, yeah, in the moment when you experience it, I can totally agree. It might suck, but later on you will be thankful for it. You will say, hey man, this has really helped me understand so much more, being more humble, knowing my own power, because you brought your own self out of that state, out of this miserable state and whatever. You can get yourself out of anything and overcome anything.
Yeah.
It's just that you have to program your mind to knowing that you are the source.
Yes, exactly. And someone said here, the mentality, the mindset is the hardest thing to balance. It is, and it's the computer, right? We're sat at the computer. The God or whatever, we are the creator. We are sat at the computer. We input the programs. We choose the programs. Unless you would prefer to run someone else's external program, that's fine. But you have to also be aware that you are in control as well.
Yeah.
And that's just key. You know, most people are on autopilot, living. We all live primarily from the subconscious, but when you're on autopilot, your subconscious is running everything. You don't have the agency. You're not in control, and you're missing out. Basically, you're missing out on what you can achieve, what you can create. And this is the message, that we are the authority of all of this, and it's just
the responsibility to take it, to have the will to really take the responsibility of our own thinking, being, feeling, acting. It's just that. And I do not think that automation is bad, but it comes to what is being automated into your mind. Because if you set a new program, something that is beneficial to you at that given time, then the program, it will become automated. You get up in the morning and you tell yourself, I'm gonna drink celery juice every day because it helps me. And at some point, it's just not even, it's a habit, but it just becomes an automation. You just get up and do it. And sometimes when I do certain things, which are good for me, I even realize, wait, have I done this today? Because it's so automated. And it's not optimal because, you might say, okay, he forgot about doing this and that already, and he might have done it twice because of that mistake of being unaware in that moment. But it can be useful.
Exactly.
It can be very useful because a lot of things are being done quickly, efficiently through that automation if it's beneficial for us. Yeah.
Exactly. And this goes into self-mastery, is the self-observation, is finding the actions that are going to create a positive reaction. And like you said, responsibility is the ability to respond.
Yeah, exactly. Not react, but respond to it. Because reaction is usually very impulsive. Something appears to you, some circumstance, and you, oh my God, why did this happen? Or, oh, I have to get mad now. And then you realize, wait a second, I'm reacting out of a past program which is limiting me in this moment. And I do not have to. I can observe this moment or this circumstance and see it as, it might make me mad, but I do not have to react like this. I can remain at peace and pat myself on the shoulder and say, hey, I did not respond that way, react that way. I maybe did not even respond. I was at peace and I just observed. And oftentimes it's a lot better to do that than even respond at all, even if it's out of peace. Which usually, won't be bad, but there are moments in life where you should just remove yourself and all kinds of responses entirely.
Yeah, exactly. So it's conscious work, what you can call conscious work, which is essentially a deliberate effort to evolve by remembering oneself, knowing what works for you, and as it's said here, build good habits, and after a while it'll just become your nature.
The problem.
And you have to find what works for you. I think that's key. Is the individuality aspect. We're all bio individuals. To say a certain diet will work for someone may not work for another. With the celery juice, for example, it might not work for me or whoever. Maybe they don't like the taste. Do you know what I'm saying? So we have to work out what works for us, but in order to do that, we actually have to have a criteria. We actually have to know that inherently there are certain things that are beneficial for our physiology and for us to be optimal instead of just surviving. And we have to look at the things that are presented to us, and we have to try them out. I think experimentation, this is a laboratory in a way. This is a laboratory, and we have to experiment, and eventually we'll find out what's good. But
you've mentioned something very, very important as well, and very interesting, because some things work for one person and for another they do not or might not. And I've realized that it all comes down to what gives you more peace in a given moment, what some people might call placebo. But if you think about it, what is placebo really? Some doctor or whoever tells you to take this and that pill, and there's nothing inside. And it's not the pill, it's the belief that this and that is going to give you the circumstance which you desire to be in. And you connect such a deep level of peace to that, knowing that this pill is going to bring me out of this disease and I'm going to have peace again. And subconsciously, you have set your mind, which is a mindset, to knowing that you are going to get out of whatever it is that you experience. So it is just manifestation. The fastest way to manifest things is to come to a very, very deep level of peace. Yes, you can bring that thought into a certain motion, but exactly as you say, it's precisely that. I mean, the deeper you wanted to say something.
The nocebo effect as well.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just belief. And belief down the line is just the mental projection that you feel a certain way about a certain thought, and this is the electromagnetism. The thought is electric, it's the potential, and the magnetism is that which you project it out into reality, and the heart, which has the magnetic potential, this feeling, brings it back to you as a physical experience. That's the
Exactly.
electromagnetism of thought and emotion. And yeah, to make it come true, you often have to connect an action or whatever doing to really fulfill it.
Yeah.
Because our 3D brain, unfortunately, as of now, only believes into things which it sees physically.
Yeah.
So to really set a program into your mind, you have to act on those things or play it out. So you have a certain thought and emotion, and this travels through reality as some kind of circumstance in whatever place of time, and then you act upon it. And this action then solidifies the new forming program, the new mindset, which overrides a past limiting mindset. And this is how manifestation works. It's the complex of those three things: thoughts, emotions, and actions.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, you're right. It's true.
and that's placebo. Placebo is just manifestation of health, you could say. Yeah.
Which is also
Through the belief connected to something. Yeah.
yeah, and health is our default state. You know, when we go to sleep,
Mm-hmm.
there's a reason we go through restoration. There's a reason that we need to sleep. So it's always the default is always to be in homeostasis, and that's ultimately what we want to be in. But we want to experience. We want to have more experience that enlivens what is actually our true essence and enables us to experience more. And that's why the holistic approach is the future. It's not like it's anything new, but we need to look at how we are multidimensional. We need to look at that, and we need to respect that, and we need to actually, that's the approach we need to take. And I have absolute no doubt that's where people's consciousness is going, is to become aware of that. Yeah, looking at some of these comments as well. Someone asked about the Orin therapy. So I don't know too much about urine therapy, but what I understand is that the nutrients and everything that's contained within it is, the fluids are essentially sacred. So there is probably some genuine benefit to it, but I personally won't. I don't know. Maybe I'll try it one day, but I don't know. And then
there's a very simple approach to structured water. If you want to have high quality structured water, just eat fruit. Fruit just structurizes water in itself. It brings it to life. You have living water in it, and you do not need all those expensive gadgets and items to get structured water. You can just eat or make juices out of raw fruit, and there you will get a lot of structured water, especially if you live in very warm areas. You can get very high quality structured water out of melons, out of coconuts.
Definitely. And yeah, just another comment. Even if a person has great potential of doing whatever, of being the best version, if they lack the mentality, they lack to unleash and receive what they're capable of. So ultimately, if you don't have mental strength, you can't reinforce the will. You can't. There's nothing for you to capitalize on, because you don't. Your power, your functioning isn't able to correlate with the power that you have. You can't make the connection. It's like a broken fuse. And mental strength is key in these times. If anything, you need sanity. Like sanity is going to be the first thing that people battle with, and we need to start really thinking about how can I preserve my sanity when there's madness going on around me. So build discipline is all I would say with that. So microdose discipline. There we go.
That's also the thing with mental strength, because our brain does not always work in our favor, and it's oftentimes programmed to this fight or flight, to building up a wall in front of us and being like, I'm protected behind this coping mechanism, but it restricts you. It's a maze that you build around yourself. So mental strength is something that your brain has to learn. Your brain is the computer. It is not you. It is the computer. You operate this body and through this reality. And it has to learn by knowing, okay, I can endure certain things. I have went through pain. I have learned the ability to program my own self to something more beneficial. So strength is something that on a lot of different levels can be learned. Obviously, you can also teach your body to gain muscle or whatever. That's quite simple. But the mental strength thing is something else. And yes, of course, you can also build mental strength through resistance training or whatever, physical, because you become more resilient to that sort of pain. But other pains in your life will also appear. You might be in a relationship with someone you love, but you are not ready for sustaining a relationship. Then a breakup occurs, and you will have to learn mental strength in that part of life. And there's so many different aspects in life that you can benefit from when pain occurs, that you just program your mind to more strength. How can I use this pain to become more resilient, more strong, to adapt more? Yeah,
it's true. And like someone said here, I learn a lot through trial and error, and it sucks when you're experiencing the error, but I always feel grateful for all I learn about myself through the process. And this is absolutely correct. The gratitude is the attitude. When you experience what would be deemed negative, it's again acknowledging yourself as the creator of your conditions, to feel your cells respond to your thoughts. Your cells are yourselves, and rightly so. It does suck when you experience errors and not hitting a certain target, but then it's that reflection, it's the self-observation, and it ultimately is experiential learning. It
happens for you. It also happens for you, because this is the thing. You experiment, and those experiments are also those visions that you have. For instance, you say, I want to move there and there, I want to live there and there, I want to have this and this experience, but you are not that self yet which is able to project that reality. So your vibrational state, your state of being, because it's said as within so without, or you get what you are. So you have to become a self which is able to bring out a reflection, or you pushed out, you inverse universe, which you then experience. But it's you are that which is happening to you. You are in that moment, in that state of vibration, which then created that reality. As written here in the comments, mental is the cause, physical is the effect. It's that way. Above and below. Above is the mind, below is the physical reality.
Exactly.
Hi. Hi, Robbie.
Absolutely. What about talking positive to your water before you drink it? Same with food. It's the same thing. It's a light. It's light. It's energy. We're of the same structure of light. And again, it's been proven that words are the vibrations of nature. So
plants, everything, how they form, how they live when you speak to them, how music affects them. Man, this is one of the topics I love. I have been spending so much time when it comes to cymatics. Oh man, cymatics is beautiful. Look, this is also a huge topic. If you think about, I don't know if everyone here believes in the golden empires of Tartaria, for example, but look at churches. Look at churches and look at the windows and all of that. Look at those shapes. And then look at what happens if you put a cup of water above a speaker.
Yeah.
Certain patterns occur, and those patterns you will see in those specific geometrical structures in churches.
Yeah.
Churches are not some kind of Christian building or whatever. No, this is sleeping high technology which heals. It's crazy what happens within churches. People, those buildings are sleeping powerhouses which are not being used the way they should be.
Yeah, it's true, and I don't know if it's wholly true, but most churches are built on ley lines.
Yeah,
so
man. Yeah,
it amplifies their effect, and and from what I understand, people would gather inside them to be healed.
Yeah.
And I think Rife with his machine.
Oh yeah.
Well.
Yeah. Now we are getting into the real stuff. Yeah.
And again, I don't want to go into that too much because we're on a filter here, but vibrations occur at specific frequencies. Obviously, that can influence your emotions and your thoughts and your actions.
Yeah. I mean,
so
your physical body is just so much water and is being structured by all of that, by your emotions that you feel, that you listen to, the music, the program of your mind. It's crazy what you can do with frequencies, with sound healing, and oh man, this is
and that's
huge.
where we are.
Yeah,
exactly. So the bells, exactly. That's a big one as well, for sure. The sound is beautiful, really. The hertz, I think the hertz, the HZ, is correlated with the heart.
Yeah, and hertz. German hertz is heart, hertz. Yeah.
Well, there you go. So that explains it. So what
ley
lines? So ley lines are basically like, if you imagine, it's an energetic grid that the Earth, or whatever, the globe, whatever you want to call it, we have energetic. It's an energetic grid. It's like blood.
Yeah,
the blood of the Earth.
It's like the veins of the Earth. Yeah.
Yeah, and they have specific.
And you have okay, I'm gonna let you continue. There's so much to tell about this.
No, you go. You go. You explain it, man.
So ley lines, you have major and smaller spots where they meet, where they cross. For instance, the pyramids, all kinds of temples, whatever, and those are the chakras of Earth. Those spots that you have in your body, certain organs which transmute energy in a very specific way. This is also why they are being called organs, organizers. They organize your energy and how it flows through your body and all of that. And Earth has the same spots. Like for instance, okay, this is also another very big topic with the Bermuda Triangle, that there is a spot of that, and that you have some kind of crystalline structure there. But yeah, that's for another time or another life. We will see. It's crazy. Yeah, ley lines are Nikola Tesla. He mapped out the grid once, and he discovered where they cross, basically. And most churches, most big buildings, they are built on that. They are exactly to harvest that energy and then put it into human bodies for use, for healing, for energizing, for connecting to Earth, to the collective.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the energetic lines, and that they get the parallels with us and the Earth. It's it's beautiful. A lot of stone circles as well.
Oh yeah.
Are built on the same things. I think Glastonbury in England is one of the chakras of the Earth, energy centers of Earth. So it's a beautiful topic, and I just want to quickly move on to another topic now.
Mm-hmm.
One that I know you know a lot about, with astral exploration.
Oh man, okay, this is also big. Where do
So
we
we can,
want to begin? About the realm itself, the astral realm, or do we want to talk about how to get there and how we actually do get there every night, but more or less consciously?
yeah,
So we will have to split that up into several, I would say, subsections.
yeah. I mean, we can go on how so essentially it's the practice of intentionally separating your consciousness from the physical body,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and to experience a non-physical state. So a non-physical dimension.
Yeah,
Dimension is not
yeah.
a place, though, is it? A dimension is just a state of
Yeah,
a state of
density, you could
a
say. Yeah,
density.
yeah, vibration. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh,
So obviously, um, all of it happens at once, and you are all in all realms at once. You're also in source all the time, because everything that you see is an illusion. All of this doesn't really exist. It seems real because of your sensory organs, which then, yeah, they just transmit all those vibrations, light vibration, whatever, touch of the fabrics, but it's just vibrations, and they are being transmitted through your whatever organ into your brain, and then appear to you as this and that, as a book, as a lamp, window. But those things do not really exist. They just feel real. Um, so the astral realm is kind of the path of a thought or of an image, um, into 3D. So you have an upload and download mechanism. You're uploading thoughts into the mental realm, which is above the astral realm, and then reality or 3D reality downloads those things. So this is why it's being called above and below. That's the thing. You have like the above, which is not really above. It's within and without. And this is the same. Above and below is the same as within and without. It's just being put in that, how to say, um the higher your state of vibration is, so the above, the more you're able to uplift into the higher realms, and the lower your state of vibration is, the more connected to the physical it is, the less able you are to, yeah, to project your dreams into reality and really experience them. This does not mean that you're less able to astral project. That's not what I'm trying to
no.
say, because astral projection in itself, um, uh,
We're out
okay,
of,
I would try to
we're going out of
simplify.
body. We're experiencing a density, a
Mhm,
third 3D,
mhm.
third density. It means we can touch is material. When we go into astral,
Mhm.
or whatever it's been called, it was given that name, I believe, by Robert Monroe,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
uh,
Monroe
the
Institute. Yeah, 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 yeah,
Monroe
yeah.
Institute,
Mhm,
and this is essentially where we go when we're dreaming. It's a disembodied state, and
mhm,
our true essence is disembodied,
mhm.
meaning without body. Where we go, we're not in the physical. However, we
Yeah.
do carry certain things into a disembodied state.
Mhm.
You
Uh,
could say that the ego actually travels with you.
yeah, yeah.
Your identity.
The individual is still existent, more or less. It's not so. 5D, which is above 4D, and 4D is kind of like a veil or curtain between 3D and
Yeah.
5D. And in 5D, you do not really have time anymore. And this is certainly something all of you have experienced. Lucid dreaming. Lucid dreaming is kind of like astral projection, but it's not like a state where you are aware of what's happening, but you are not like, I cannot really make the difference in between, because in astral projection you have the ability to also travel in 3D here and experience everything here on this realm. So you want to visit Japan or whatever, you could do that
Mm-hmm.
in that state. You can do it. Obviously, it takes training and time, and
Yeah.
it's very demanding. But yeah, dreams are sometimes even on a state above that, depending on what level of vibration they are, because dimensions are just states of vibration. So let's say there's some kind of group of people who says only 144,000 people will rise into heaven or be ascending, be freed, go to heaven, whatever. But it's not the number of people, it's a frequency, it's the speed of your energetical motion which has to rise into that level, or that speed of vibration, so you can pop out of your body, or when you die go beyond the veil of body, which is the lower astral. And okay, yeah, now we would have to go into the whole thing with heliocentrism and how reality actually looks and what it's built on or built like. And I won't get too deep into that because
Yeah.
it's also a thing about belief, let's say, yeah, what actually is real. But you have different states of density, and you have the lower astral 4D is etheric waters. And then you will go back to the Bible, where yeah, waters from above, and yeah, this might be fiction, whatever.
Yeah, exactly. It's here, yeah, like Katya says, one is the ability to see the 3D world as it is.
Mm-hmm.
The other is the ability to see what is hidden. So this is just something that everyone needs to acknowledge. Just because you can't see it, it doesn't mean it's not there. And the electromagnetic spectrum is literally explains everything. Is why we exist in this material realm.
Yeah, it's a clue.
It's because it's,
Exactly. Yeah, yeah.
And that which is hidden is just on a different spectrum of light. You can't see it, but this is what we're dealing with. And this same thing goes into transcending that which is visible.
The word transcending in itself is transcending, ending the trance, the sleep state. Yeah, because 3D is actually sleep, and reality is, yeah, becoming more aware of that. This is just a dream, which seems real, but what's actually real is above that, which we currently do not see, but become more aware of with time. And awareness, basically. Yeah, it's just the awareness. Yeah,
it's just awareness, exactly. And if we're too stuck in convinced by the illusion, by the fiction that is all around us, albeit we do have to navigate in it. We don't have to be a part of it per se, but we have to navigate it. We have to play to the conditions of the game. But by playing too much in the game, we become victims of the game wardens, the rule books that have been placed on us to adhere to, and that will bring about can bring about a certain fear and a certain fear-based identity with it, which in essence is designed that way to hold us back from recognizing that there is more than what meets the eye. And this coming to wake up, to be awake, is to come to understand, overstand that there's an expansive sense of self. There is more that we can attain out while still being paradoxically in the game, still navigating the game. You can be in the game and you can be somewhere else at the same time, hence why we are multidimensional. And then this goes into the dissolution of the ego and the shift of the identification with that which we think we are within the illusory game, right? So the identity that is formed, the id, the id is essentially what we subscribe to, is what we believe that we are. It's our chess piece, is our It's our Monopoly character that we play the game with.
Yeah.
We
It's everything that you put after I, and
Yeah.
maybe sometimes am. Yeah, what are you? Weird, funny, pretty, whatever. All those adjectives.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
That's a good.
yeah,
That's a good
basically you just are all the time, and you do not have to categorize yourself with everything, because that then, yeah, makes the illusion more and more real. But when you just observe everything from a neutral standpoint, you just
Yeah.
are, you just exist, and you realize you are not all those things, and all those things do not really describe you. Surely you can build certain things, you can change the way you look, you can work out, you can lose a lot of weight, you can gain a lot of weight, but that's not you. That's not really you. And I'm not saying that you should now be careless about this body, because this body is the machine that you operate with. And if it doesn't work, then yeah, the quality of life won't be really great, let's say, from that level of perception.
Exactly.
But
But
yeah,
we
just
can.
yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna say we can embrace the sensory capacity
Mm.
that 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 is able to be acquired in this body,
Mm.
in this machine or church, whatever you wanna call it. But
Mm.
ultimately, yeah, it's about life quality as well, isn't it? It's about quality of life. It's about lifespan. It's like,
Mm.
okay, I might live 90 years old, 100 years old, but is my quality of life that good? Probably not, unless, if you're following an unaware. If you're living unaware, then it's probably not going to be great quality. It depends, obviously. But yeah, I just wanted to say how there's a continuous rebirth, you could say. So as you start to learn new perspectives, as you start to shed old beliefs and constructs, in the realization of knowing that you can create your own story, create your own journey.
Yeah.
A certain part of you dies, doesn't it? A certain part of you,
That's
it dies.
the law of equivalent exchange. You pay with something, which sometimes is pain, to gain something else. Something of you has to die. It's the phoenix analogy. So the phoenix is dying and being reborn out of the ashes, and you have it all everywhere in nature as well. If you look at the transformation of a butterfly from the little caterpillar, which has to eat dirt first and then, yeah, hides into this cocoon, darkness, and whatever, it doesn't know what's happening around it. And it comes out into a thing, this butterfly, which can fly and eat nectar. Like, this is so crazy. And the transformation, yeah, it has paid with a state of being, which was like this and that. And it's not bad, it's just a level of perception and experiencing reality from that state of being. But ultimately, it wants to fly, it wants to experience something else. And so it transforms into this butterfly, which eats better things and experiences life, yeah, from a entirely different level of perception. It can fly.
It can fly. And imagine that as well. You're trapped in this cocoon, and you're just gradually breaking out of it, right? And then you're never given so much adversity or pressure that it's going to damage your growth. You're given just enough, and as soon as you've embraced that pain, that growth, then you get the beauty at the end of it, which is the most freeing thing you can ever do, is to fly. Like,
Man, this is crazy. The relief, and it's so light also as well. It's not a little thing that whatever just crawls on the earth. It's light. It's super light. It really is enlightened. That's the butterfly, you could say. Yeah.
Exactly. And the parallels is with us.
Yeah.
And there's something where it said you're never given enough. You're never given too much that you can't hold it on your shoulders. Can't remember the quote exactly, but you're always given just enough in order for you to take it on and to come out of the other end of it. And you're never given so much that you can't handle it. And this is what we have to come to know is we can embrace adversity. We just have to have the mentality, as said here. And that's all it takes. So the question is, how do you build that? How do you build that mentality? And I think a lot of it comes from doing the inner work, integrating the shadow. I think that's a major one. And then start to develop the practices that are ultimately going to develop that resilience, develop that mentality. And it is a journey then, in that sense. There's so many aspects to integrate.
Yeah.
And it's just a beautiful thing. And the more people that can get on board, then ultimately
more beautiful it will be overall. It's
unity. It's a unity. What we're experiencing now is an uplift in consciousness, and it will become a unified consciousness. We will recognize that we're all interconnected and we're part of a single energy field. And the sense of separation is just illusion. And this is it. I'm excited to be part of it, man. Like,
I think it will be quite soon. I assume that by the next 2 or 3 years, several things will be accepted as normal by science.
Yeah.
I believe that something such as time travel will be accepted as normal by the year of 2027, I think. We will see where it will go, but all the quantum science and all those scientists, they start to see things. And I'm not saying that it's all just positive and that they are trying to help people to become more aware, because there will be a point where they will realize a lot once more, and then they will say, okay, this is too much knowledge, because then certain things come into play. It's already quite crazy if you think about quantum entanglement, that the things you focus on, for instance, another person, your partner, someone that you love, or between the mother and the child, something might happen to that person who you are quantum entangled with, and you will feel that something is wrong. I had this once in my last relationship, where I just felt at night that I woke up at night, 3 a.m., and I knew that something was going wrong. I just felt it. And the next day, I had the confirmation. I just had the confirmation that there were certain things happening which were everything else but good. And you just feel it. You feel those things. You have this entanglement. It's just energy flows where focus goes, and it connects not just by focusing on those things that you want to experience, but also by it is just the basic thing of the connection, that everything has an energy and is energy in itself in this realm here in 3D. And if you focus on it, you become connected to it, and you transmit information all the time. You can be close, you can be far. It doesn't matter. It will be felt instantaneously.
Exactly. It's because it's a hive. It's a hive mind. It's a collective mind. And what you're talking about there is like synchronicities.
Yeah, exactly that.
But ultimately, all of it is revealing the interconnectedness of all beings. You know, you can tell when someone almost wants to communicate with you, other side of the world, My wife does it all the time. She said, "Oh, your mum's channeling through me. You should ring her," you know. And the more sort of sensitive you are, or the more abilities you have to tap into that interconnectedness, that unified field, the quantum entanglement, then you can start to really harness that as again your power.
That's a lot of fun. With like small things in the beginning, like a lot of mirror numbers, and there are people who will always try to categorize this number means this and that. No, it just means that you're very connected to everything that happens. This code, this flow, that it just talks to you, and reality somewhat becomes like a baby to you. It becomes your child, which plays with you all the time and communicates. And it's so fun because sometimes also when you are in public and you feel that some awareness is coming at you, and you just look around and you see a person on the other side of the street or somewhere else, whatever, is looking at you. You just feel it. It's this energetical connection, and it cannot be erased. It just is there.
Yeah, it's true. And when you start to understand the synchronicities, you start to have more appreciation for life, because you realize you're a part of that tapestry. You're able to interact. Anytime you're out and about in public, you're interfacing with other energetic beings, so you become part of the grand play. And I always say, reframe yourself as the first player character, you know, in your own game. And when you start to do that, you start to get messages, and as long as you can hear them, as long as you can see them, and you're aware to receive, then things start to become more fun and more joy. You get more joy from every day.
This is so true. I mean, this is also why, a lot of people will tell you, you should be proud of your achievements and whatever. But I will come to the point why I'm connecting this right now, and because pride makes you become stuck. You think, oh yeah, I achieved this and that, and now I know everything. Now I have everything, but it keeps on moving. And this is also why I had those points in my life where I was like, oh, I know so much truth. This is the end. No, 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 no. No pride. Be open. Be happy about that which you have realized, but be in that flow. Let new things come to you, and just be open to it all. This is
precisely
so important.
Open heart. Open heart can only happen with an open heart.
And
exactly. To most people, they would receive what's an open heart? I don't understand it. You know, it basically means, well, the compassion, I think, is a big one. The compass, which is from your heart, and I guess open-mindedness comes into it as well, and the ability to receive, and it's just underlined by a kindness. It's like a softness. You have to undergo a type of softness in a way. Obviously not too soft, but it's gentle. You know, this is
also something that a lot of people do not realize. They think that when you're soft, you're weak, but that's not true. Softness usually comes from the comprehension of how painful certain things can be, how demanding certain circumstances can be, and respect that. When you see someone in pain, you do not tell them, oh, you're stupid, whatever, your perception is whatever, is so limiting. It's important to accept that the person might have a different level of understanding of that pain in that moment, and then be kind. And if they do not want to listen to you or have the information that you have, which might help their own selves, then it's also okay. Like, real mental strength is also evolving this softness and this kindness. It just is really fascinating that the most intelligent people are usually very, very kind, and this is also because they have had those experiences. They know how tough it can get, and they know even if they themselves do not perceive pain as something bad or as something that has to restrict you to a major degree, they know that certain people do not understand that yet and need more time to get to that level of perception, let's say. Yeah.
It's true, and that's something that I've definitely struggled with in the past is accepting that, and especially when it's guided out of love, but actually there's a load of reasons to explain that, but yeah, I think it's just key to acknowledge that emotions are strengths, they're sources of power, and they're messengers, aren't they? They're the messengers from the subconscious to guide us. And
they tell you either that your emotions, as in feeling pain, anger, whatever, despair, they show you that there's something within your own mind which is limiting you, and this is also why certain pains reoccur all the time, because it's a lesson, and until you learn that lesson and go through it entirely, not by avoiding it and thinking that you have to go through whatever kind of passage around the pain will reoccur in a different circumstance. And this is also where we can go back to the toroidal field, like a cyclone or a major storm. You have to go through it to the center, which is the eye of the storm, of the torus, and there's nothing, there's peace. You have to go through it to go to peace, and then from within see the chaos around you. Reality is that thing. Reality is that toroidal thing, a huge torus, which you are able to be at peace within and see the chaos around you, and then you start to see this order, that behind all this chaotic stuff, all those experiences, whatever it is, there's an order, and it happens for you to be learned and understood, and understood, overstood, those words. Exactly.
Exactly, and it's going back to your natural state of love, natural state of love. And as we know, the more we can tap into that, the more it's recognized through our actions, and then we receive it as the law of consequence, and then our frequency changes. It raises the way in which our cells vibrate, and it gives us enhanced clarity and creativity. And this is something that is blocked in a lot of people. And if we're thinking about energy centers, obviously the heart is from what we know is in the middle. So if that isn't shining as bright as we want, if the heart is dull, if it's dampened, then how can we necessarily tap into those higher faculties? It becomes harder to do so. And I think you really, you have to go back to that gentle strength. You have to go back to that love center and choose love over fear. It goes. We're going to go into that now, and the polarity of fear and love.
I mean, in the end, it's the same thing. It's the same energy brought into different state of motions. A more impulsive but slower one. So the vibrational rate is very low, which is fear. And then you have love, which is vibrating super high, and the impulses are lower. Yeah, exactly. So it's just a flow which is at ease, which is almost at peace. And unconditional love is a connection to peace, because you are always at peace with whatever happens to you, or well, for you again. But you love yourself anyway. You love existence, you love experiences, and you're not limiting yourself to anything. You just know that love is kind of like a candle, like or something that you can hold on to and know, hey. And there's also this saying, you probably know this, Satanists use this a lot. Do what thou wilt.
Mm.
But that's not the entirety of the phrase, because there's a part which is at the end of it. Do what thou wilt, and then will. No, love is the law, and will within love. So you have to have the will to love your own self while you're doing whatever you're doing. Yeah, you can do whatever you want, but
Yeah.
know that it has to be done with love and will. And that means if you kill someone, you're restricting the state of peace and love for their own existence, and then you do not love that state of being of theirs. No, and this is why it's so many things are being twisted. Yes, you can do whatever you want, but do not restrict the peace and life force of another state, of another being, because that is also you in another body. And this is also why it's called to love one another, love one in another, because it's just one only consciousness in another body with other experiences, seeming separate, but it's not separate. It's one mind in other bodies.
This is it. This is it. This is it. And I remember the moment that switched for me. And when people say about like self-love, it's as simple as honoring yourself in certain ways, and then other people start to recognize the fact that you're honoring yourself. So the reflection of what you're doing, they're seeing that, and that's why, generally speaking, the more you take care of yourself and love yourself, the more easily received you are, the more people are going to be likely to be kinder to you, they're going to respect you more. It's because you're respecting yourself, and they're recognizing that you're showing that you have that self-love.
Magnetism. Again, the emotion which is most magnetic is self-love and peace within that. And that's that's
it. And for me, one of the biggest teachers for me was working on my physical body, man. And the moment I started to do that, I started to notice how different I was being treated by others. And I put it down to the fact that I was loving myself, and then everything started to change. As we've just said, the vibration changes. And there's so much proof that the more love that you show to yourself, the more heightened your experience of life becomes, and you're received more amicably, with more I guess kindness and respect. And I think when you have that bounce back at you, you want more of it. And
it is again this as within so without. It's the abundance mentality that you do not really need something from outside to feel worthy of yourself, to love yourself, but it's just you love existence in itself, to be, and use that to do something great with it, to experience something that you want to experience. And that is so magnetic, really. That's super attractive.
Yeah, definitely. Because you can't look for something that you can't give to yourself, as Katya said. That's one of the most profound things to take into yourself and to remember. And when I was saying about the autopilot, where the autopilot and the programming that's received in autopilot mode doesn't or isn't, that's not part of the program. That's not part of it, is it? You have to learn that, and you have to earn it. You have to learn, and you have to earn it. And when you apply it, then the beauty unfolds, and you don't go back.
You cannot go back as well. You become so grateful for everything that you have experienced, all pains, all limitations before. Sure, you might think at first, why would I even choose to live this way or have these experiences to begin with? Why would I choose to be a human? But that's the thing. It is also beautiful in itself, because this all feels so real. You forget what you really are to experience something that will make you grateful. Once you know what you really are of being that, you become aware of that which you really are, and you are like, wow, man, I'm so happy that I know that I do not have to feed anything that restricts me. That I am free to decide on what I feel, how I perceive things, and what I experience down the line if I take the action which programs me into the state of being, and that state of being will then attract those things into my life, which benefit me, or achieving any goal that we want to have fulfilled. Yeah.
Absolutely, man. Well, yeah, I mean, I think on that, I think that's summarize everything what we've just been speaking about is in that. And yeah, man, awesome stuff. Have you yeah, I feel like we could carry on, but
Yeah, same.
we should
There's so much to tell still. So many
there is
topics that come to my mind, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we've been going for a good 2 hours. Thank you so
Yeah,
much for people
thank you
that
too. And everyone who
stayed in,
joined. Yeah.
and everyone who joined, exactly. And yeah, anyone who's going to be watching after, I hope you took some value from it and some practicality. And yeah, I'm just pleased that we can do this. You know, this is just, yeah, it's beautiful,
Alex,
man.
we have spoken before the live call about this. Let's really try to invite people into coming to show their faces as well, or their representations, and have a live talk with more people. Then I mean, chatting and reading the comments is great, but sharing their own experiences like live and having a say, that's, I think, even more valuable, because then we can connect on a deeper level and make it even more relatable.
Yeah. Thank you all. Appreciate that, definitely. Yeah, great energy, exactly. And you know, real recognize real every time. And there's people out there that will connect and will resonate with what we're saying. And this is what it's about. It's about connecting. It's about recognizing the unity consciousness. We're all part of it, and together we can really enjoy what's coming, instead of succumbing to all of the noise, all the fiction. And yeah, just always go back to that, you know, recognize your value, recognize your divinity. And as soon as that's all solidified, you can never deviate outside of it. You know, you're gonna have
And it
days where
also
you feel,
becomes so easy. It becomes so simple, so self-evident also.
yeah. Exactly. All right, thank you, mate.
Yeah, thank you all. Thank you to Alex. It was a great time.
Definitely. All right, well, we should definitely do this again.
Oh yeah, totally agree. Yeah.
And we'll think of some more topics, because there's plenty.
Yeah.
But yeah, take care, everyone. Much love. Thank you.